there are birds and squirrels, possibly chipmunks, the occasional porcupine, maybe a skunk or two. Now, if you've noticed, you probably can hear them. Now, why we can hear them? That's what I'm going to tell you. Animals make a lot of sounds we like to hear. You know, birds, bees, mammals, reptiles, amphibians, fish, occasionally, if you've ever heard a croaker. But for this segment in particular, we're going to focus on mammals. Horses, cows, cats, dogs, rats, mice, hamsters. The larynx is a very important structure in the throat of mammals, amphibians, and reptiles that houses the vocal cords and therefore helps in the creation of sound. So when you hear a dog bark, a frog croak, or a lizard hiss, that sound's coming from the vocal cords in the larynx. Give me a second. I'll draw you a diagram. So the result we have here is an enlarged view of the larynx. It's a view that a veterinarian might see if he or she were performing a laryngoscopy on a patient. For this in particular, a veterinarian performs a laryngoscopy by sedating the animal and gently placing a camera down the animal's throat in order to be able to see exactly what is going on in terms of breathing and perhaps phonation, or the making of noises. The orange structure indicated here is the epiglottis. Epiglottis. This is a cartilage structure that protects the larynx and thus the trachea, also known as the windpipe, during swallowing by covering the glottis as a flap. It's very sensitive to touch. The pink structure indicated here is the airy epiglottic fold. Airy epiglottic fold. Another cartilage structure that helps define the larynx as a functional component. The blue structures indicated here are the vocal folds. There's two of them, and their alternate names are also called the vocal cords and sometimes the vocal reeds. They vibrate during phonation, also known as noise making, to create the varieties of sounds heard from mammals, reptiles, and amphibians. Indicated here are the vestibular folds. Vestibular folds, aka false vocal cords. These mucous membranes lay lateral to the ventricles. They play small roles in noise making. The purple structure indicated here is the arytenoid. Arytenoid cartilage is a cartilage structure that forms the ventral side portion of the larynx, and it provides the anchor for the vocal cords. These two spaces here, indicated by the white arrows, are the spaces known as the right and left ventricles. The ventricles are openings that sit between the vocal folds and the vestibular folds. They sit lateral to the rhemoglottis. The space indicated here, above the vocal folds, is the rhemoglottis, known as the glottis or the glottic lumen. This is a space between the vocal folds that leads further down the trachea into the lungs. It is the passageway required to breathe and use the vocal cords to make noises.